Hello, I'm Mayor Nancy Sharp, and welcome to this very special program of the Greenwood Village Mayor's Show. The Greenwood Village Police Department places a high priority on the safety of citizens. Through caring and committed community partnerships, their goal is to prevent crime before it happens in an effort to keep our families, neighborhoods, and our overall community safe. During today's program, we're going to take an inside look at the police department and the people whose jobs are some of the most important in our community. Today we'll hear about the various facets of the police department, how they conduct their jobs, and learn what they do that goes beyond issuing tickets and making arrests that makes Greenwood Village one of the safest places to live and work.
67 police officers make a strong commitment every day to serve the citizens of Greenwood Village. It is their passion to serve and protect. And although the job can be rewarding, it can also bring challenging situations, and sometimes dangerous ones, unexpectedly.
Another bank robbery, First Bank on 914, 4700 West 38th.
An officer's job begins at the start of their shift with roll call, an important process that is more than attendance.
Well, roll call is very important so that information is passed on to the officers that's currently assigned to swing shift. That way they're informed, like we've discussed, the bank robberies. They can inform banks or do cruise bys through the bank, do more proactive patrols in neighborhoods, do the criminal trespasses and burglaries. So they have that information to provide them a little bit more knowledge on what's going on. Okay, let's see.
Getting timely information on the status of cases, activity updates from previous shifts, and briefings on new laws are vital, so officers are well prepared to do their job. Officer Tony Costarella has been with the Greenwood Village Police Department for 10 years. Before beginning his patrol shift, he makes sure his vehicle is properly equipped for whatever may come his way.
I carry a full medical kit and also a crime scene bag. I'm able to do fingerprint lifts, collect DNA, take photographs of crime scenes. Inside our car, we have various pieces of equipment. We have a laptop computer that has direct connection with Department of Motor Vehicle, Crime Information Center, and National Crime Information Center. So if anybody's wanted anywhere in the United States, we can run their name and within seconds find out if they have a warrant for their arrest, what they're wanted for, if they're a restraining order, if they are a sex offender on a registry, if their license is valid, if it's suspended, what's suspended for. We have access to the internet, so if we need to do research for locating somebody through various search engines, to find a phone number, find an address of our suspect or a victim. Say, for example, if we found property, we can pull up that information right here at our fingertips in our car. We don't have to come to the police department. We get to do it all by ourselves here. Also in the car, we have an in-car camera that videotapes our stops. It records 30 seconds prior to the stop. So many times we capture the violation. So say, for example, if I'm at a stoplight and someone runs a red light in front of me, well, it's on a continuous loop. So as soon as I turn on my emergency lights to stop the car, it is captured 30 seconds prior to me turning on the lights and the camera. So more often than not, we capture the violation on video just by the mere fact we had that 30-second loop prior to the activation of the camera. This controller right here controls our emergency lights. Also control my sirens and the white light. All right, this will be the different sounds. I control it by my horn. As I approach an intersection, I'll change the siren. As I'm right at the intersection, as I'm going through.
Once on the road, only a minute passes before Officer Costarella gets his first call.
And she is aware that one person's on the way.
We're going to want to block out that name. I don't want that on there. Because it's a mental health issue. For HIPAA violations, for HIPAA laws, we're not allowed to have the person's name and date of birth, so the report wouldn't even be available to the public because it's a HIPAA violation.
What happened with them if you hurt yourself? Do you care about what would happen, what they would think if you hurt yourself? Yeah, because it's a hard thing when people decide that they're going to end their life because they leave everything behind.
Mental health issues are handled in a special manner, and officers must be ready to respond quickly. But not all calls have the same outcome and require more resources to resolve.
Greenwood Village 911, this is Mary.
There's a guy in the middle of I-25 with a bloody knife. He just did something on a school bus.
Okay, anywhere on I-25?
I-25 and 3/4 of a mile before Bellevue. He's walking in the middle of the state with a bloody knife in his hand.
Okay, alrighty, hang on, let me get off the store.
Yeah.
The morning of March 25, 2010, stalled traffic on I-25 for hours as motorists frantically called 911 for help. It was the quick and smart actions of the village's 911 center that helped save lives that day.
There was only 2 of us working, and there were so many calls that we couldn't keep up. It was so hard to keep the 911s answered. Every time we answered one, we would confirm the location. The people would answer quickly that it was the same location, and we would hang up. And we would go through a call. It would take a second or half of a second to just get it answered, hang up, get it answered, hang up, get it, and that went on for, I don't know, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. The call itself was difficult. It was stressful because of what happened. The officers, they were pretty excited. They were worked up because they were up on the highway afraid that she was going to jump.
Working the 911 center is strenuous work as it requires a high magnitude of skill, attention, and strong ability to multitask. With this and other 911 incidents, there is virtually no room for mistakes.
Okay, can I talk to your husband real quick? Well, you try to get the most important information initially, which would be what just happened, where are you, is anybody hurt, are there weapons involved? It depends on what has happened will determine what questions are asked. Let's say someone's trapped in a car and it's an injury accident. Quickly, you just need to know where are you and is anyone hurt? And with those 2 pieces of information, you can get the officers responding quickly. So the time between taking the initial call and getting an officer to respond can be less than a minute. It can be less than 20 seconds. Those calls go out quick. They're easy to get out. You can get updated information because the cops are already rolling. Sometimes the fire department's already on the way. Those are not difficult calls to get information on. Those are difficult to keep up with because the phones ring so much. The other kind of calls could be high priority calls such as a robbery. There could be a robbery in progress. A bank could be robbed. Those calls are very stressful because you need to know quickly what happened, where are you, is anyone hurt, which way did he go, does he have a gun, what does he look like, is he a white male, black male, what color is his hair, what color is his car, which way did he go, did you see the license plate? And you're going through these questions, as this list of questions, and you're trained to have this, it's kind of this automatic list in your mind, and you know that these are the most important things to ask. Get the answers as quickly as possible to get it on the air as quickly as possible so they can have as much good information as they can before they even get there.
That's Graham here. She's in the middle of the night. We got blood all over and get me help, please. She doesn't have a knife. She's a good lady. Out there. Go ahead, go give me your man. She's getting ready to jump. Negative as well. Black shirt, black pants with blue light. She's on top of Archer. She's standing over the blue lady. Left shoulder. Walk around, guys. Walk around.
As the 911 center worked to communicate with officers on the suicidal female's exact location, Sergeant Tracy Thompson and several patrol officers on his team were in their vehicles rushing to the scene.
I exited onto Bellevue, got back onto I-25. Well, during that time, Detective Malafronte had arrived on scene behind the bus going northbound on I-25, and she was on the radio giving us directions. And she had visual contact with later identified as a female that had ran across 6 lanes of northbound traffic running westbound, jumped over the retaining wall, and then ran across 6 more lanes of southbound out I-25 to get to the overpass of Orchard. Then Detective Heil arrived, saw the girl, and began to chase her northbound in the southbound lanes of I-25. And he was radioing as well that the girl was on the overpass preparing to jump over the fence and onto Orchard into traffic. This was rush hour traffic at 8 o'clock, 8:50 in the morning. And as I tried to initiate contact with the girl, she wasn't talking to me or anything. She was kind of mumbling, and I was trying to get her to make eye contact with me, trying to reassure her, using a very calm voice, not to anger her or anything like that. I make a move to attempt to grab her, and just as I make the move, she swings the knife at me and almost gets me. We kept talking and trying to talk to her. She wouldn't have any communication with us at all, and she kept traveling northbound, kind of sidestepping with the knife in her hand, and then she'd grab onto the fence, and she was just sidestepping a little bit north on that barrier wall. Her body's facing toward us, but her head is facing backward. So Detective Heil literally grabbed the girl's hand that had the knife, pinned it against the fence. I grabbed Detective Heil's hand in her hand, and then went to reach for her. And J.J. Stepien is a young officer here. He grabbed her as well, and we pulled her over the fence and face down onto the shoulder of the highway. The end result was the girl wasn't injured. None of the officers were injured at all. The only injuries the girl had were those that she gave to herself. I think the entire episode lasted less than 10 minutes, 10 or 12 minutes. And the amazing thing was, as soon as it was over, it was back to normal business, normal traffic, like nothing ever happened.
With any intense service calls the police respond to, there's something they always remind themselves of every time they put their lights and sirens on.
We're highly trained in Greenwood Village. The police officers have a lot of experience. They're very well educated. And how the police department measures success is by the safety of the public, safety of the officers, and the safety of the suspects or defendants involved.
The incident on I-25 with the suicidal female was resolved with no injuries to the public except some traffic congestion. Unfortunately, calls involving children and young adults are common, and also the toughest calls to handle for most officers.
I have two kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And, if you ever see a child that's close to that age, you kind of imprint on that child. That, oh my gosh, that could be my kid in that dire situation or whatever. I've been to a medical call, and it was a very tragic medical call, and the lady looked just like my wife, and that's kind of bothersome to see, a person in that great of distress, and it looks just like a loved one of yours and such. So those are some of the harder ones to kind of get over. Just because it's so personal.
Traffic stops are a major part of the police officer's duties, and some may present more challenges than others.
There are many reasons as to why we might stop a car. I could be while I'm sitting at a stoplight, I can randomly run the plate of the car in front of me, find out that the car is stolen, the car was involved in a recent crime based upon the plate number. The registered owner, if the physical matches that the person driving, may have a warrant for the arrest, may have a suspended license, to something simple as they have a taillight out, a headlight out, no front license plate. Some of the other reasons are obviously for speeding or stop sign violations, those type of safety things. It all comes down to, a lot of times, safety and manners is pretty much what it comes down to. So anytime we stop somebody and we don't issue them a summons or arrest them, we give them a business card to let them know which officer contacted them, so that way if there's any questions, comments, or concerns about the traffic stop as to who stopped them, they have my identification as to who stopped them. I write traffic verbal on there, so that way they realize in writing I'm giving a verbal warning for a traffic stop.
Whether it's for a suspicious vehicle, expired license plates, or a speeding violation, officers are trained to handle traffic stops in a certain manner for their safety.
How you doing, ma'am? All right, I'm just going to give you a verbal warning on the traffic violation for rolling through the stop sign. When I pull somebody over for a traffic violation, some of the things that I'm looking for is when I stop somebody, where are they parking? Are they leading me to a dark area? Like say, for example, if I was to stop somebody here and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and they follow all the way around to the back side of these businesses over here, are they leading me to the back side of a business for me to stop them? To me, that's a clue. That might be an ambush type situation. They might be looking to buy time to hide something in their car. It could be a weapon, it could be drugs, it could be an open beer in the car. It could be something as small as that. When I'm stopping somebody, typically I've planned as to how long it would take for them to realize I'm stopping them and where they might stop. So if I was to stop somebody here, I would plan on them pulling to the right and then probably pulling into this open parking lot right here. Because I'd rather them be off the roadway than on the roadway, but if not, that's okay, just pull over to the right side of the road. Once I stop somebody, if I see somebody immediately reaching down underneath their seat or reaching around off to the side, that's another thing that I might look into for, to be on heightened alert, because you never know if they're reaching for a weapon or again, trying to hide something that's illegal that they're not supposed to have. I appreciate it when I walk up and they have both hands on their steering wheel and that kind of stuff in plain sight when I walk up. If there's multiple people in the car and I can't see with the back seat passengers and with the tinted windows, I'll probably stop at the passenger door and ask the passenger to roll his window down if I don't feel comfortable walking past them, because then my attention is divided amongst the people in the back seat of the car and the front seat of the car. So I may just conduct all my business from the rear passenger door and just have the passenger have everything handed from the driver to me. Everything comes down to putting the odds in my favor.
From 2005 to 2009, traffic stops in the village have increased because of the department's efforts to be proactive with their overall goal of increasing motorist safety.
Eastbound Orchard in the left turn lane to go northbound on Quebec. 535 Ocean John David, 535 OJD. Hey, how's it going? What's going on?
I just stalled.
Okay.
And AAA has told me that they'll be here within a few minutes. He called back to confirm to say I've got him on the way. He should be here in about 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll wait with you.
Okay.
So it doesn't confuse anybody else.
Yeah.
Although many traffic stops are handled by one officer, some traffic stops require assistance from multiple officers, especially when the motorist is taken into custody.
Some of the instances I might call for backup is I contact somebody and I see a weapon in plain view or something to that effect. I realize midway through that the car, as I get up there, might be an unreported stolen car where the ignition is punched and it's all broken apart. Just because it's not listed as stolen on the computer doesn't mean it's not stolen. It could have been just stolen 5 minutes ago and I don't know that. I get up there and I know it's a known suspect from a previous crime that's wanted. There are certain clues and mannerisms that we will key up on that will cause us to be at a little bit of heightened alert. We go through body language classes, we go through deception classes and that kind of stuff.
Rob stops him, he provides him this and this. Rob asks him what his date of birth is. He gives January 3rd, 1966.
So he presented this, but he verbally stated a complete different date of birth.
So then upon...
It's a fairly common situation where an officer will make a traffic stop for a simple traffic violation and contact someone and they don't have their driver's license on them, or they don't have any way to identify who they are. Well, we're not going to write a ticket to a ghost. We got to verify who this person is.
Not all traffic stops involve people. Oftentimes, patrol officers take into custody other mammals and conduct a similar process to clear their name.
I would say that we're animal lovers here. Okay, we take our time assessing animal calls. We have both of our zebra units who respond to both domesticated animal calls and then, of course, wild calls. You're going to find that it's more rewarding to be able to reunite the lost dog or lost cat with the owner. So, like I say, we take an out view, or we just try to do as much as we can to reunite them and have them not go to the vet or not go to the kennel for however long. So that's why we enjoy finding them their homes. She said that she saw something stuck in the fence by the pool there at Bridgewater, and my first thought was that it was either a coyote or something like that. So the closer we got.
Stories involving Neil the dog are common in the village. Most of the time, animals are reunited with their owner because of the police department's care for lost and abandoned pets.
If an officer feels comfortable enough with, taking them home and keeping them overnight and bringing them back in the morning, that or if the owner's found during the time, we can always bring them back. It alleviates them from staying in the kennel all night and then having to be walked and fed every once in a while.
There is never a dull moment for the police department, and their best situations are those situations with a positive outcome. Unfortunately, that is not always the case, so officers must always stay on a heightened level of alert.
Copy, 1745.
One of our detectives is at Faye Meyer's motorcycle world right now.
1745.
There are 3 subjects that came in acting rather suspicious. They came in and bought 3 motorcycles cash. They want to verify who these people are that are making such large, it's tens of thousands of dollars worth of purchases here. It's not common for someone to come in and buy this much in motorcycle equipment and motorcycles and such, and now they're back again buying another motorcycle. So Detective Heil has requested that we come up in contact.
Businesses play an integral role in helping the police department prevent crime, and because of their proactive involvement, the relationship is paying off.
We can't be everywhere. We kind of need the citizenry and our business people to kind of keep an eye out for things that just don't seem right. And these motorcycle guys are looking at it like this doesn't add up right.
Not every service call officers are asked to respond to evolves into something. Sometimes the lead turns cold.
You never know. Like I said, if you make no attempt to look for them, you will never ever find them. But if you make an attempt, who knows? You can kind of create your own luck and find them. So we'll drive around the area. We'll check the hotels in the area. The other businesses, because if they're buying motorcycles, they might be shopping at Target or other places, and we can locate them there.
Police pursuits of fleeing suspects always present dangerous consequences, so officers must decide whether the benefits of potential apprehension outweigh the risks.
For a pursuit, we have a pursuit policy. It has to be a felony crime where there's a substantial risk to life, and the need to apprehend the subjects have to outweigh the risk to the public. Now, there's a difference between a pursuit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon down Arapahoe Road and 3 o'clock in the morning. Cars doing, 15, 20 miles per hour over the speed limit at 3 o'clock in the morning, when there's very few cars out here, there's less risk to the public. But at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this roadway is packed, there's a very increased risk to the public. So we're less inclined to be involved in a pursuit at 3 o'clock in the afternoon than we are at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Police pursuits do not occur in Greenwood Village often, but incidents involving alcohol do, and sometimes pose serious threats to others.
Greenwood Village 911, this is Darcy.
Yeah, I'm driving on I-25 near Hampton, and there's a guy going about 90 miles an hour on the wrong side of the road.
Yes, hold on really quick, I'm sorry. 911, this is Darcy. Hi. I just got on I-25 at Bellevue, and there's a car driving the wrong way on I-25.
Okay, are you going north or southbound?
Northbound.
Okay, hold on. Let me get Denver on the line with us, okay?
Okay.
I was traveling westbound on East Orchard Road towards the mountains, and a ready report came in saying that there was a driver traveling southbound in the northbound lanes of I-25 approaching Bellevue. So since I was right there, I basically just turned around under the overpass and got on I-25 from East Orchard Road. When I got on I-25, I saw a car up in the distance that was about almost one exit ahead of me, and it looked like a cab. It was yellow in color. And as it was approaching East Bellevue Avenue, I saw that there was headlights coming at it in the same lane of travel. So what I did was I just activated my emergency blue and red lights and siren, and I got in the lane just to the right of it, and I just kept on traveling at the car, hoping that I would catch its attention so it would slow down. It approached me and it started slowing down. Once it got to about probably 30 miles per hour or so, I stopped in front of the car, and the car stopped directly in front of me. But I noticed once it stopped, the driver was just laying on his horn. So I opened my door, and you could hear when I opened my door the horn's louder, and he just laid on the horn the whole time until I've gotten out of my vehicle and approached the driver's side window. Once I got to the driver's side window, I just asked him his name and how much he had to drink, but he looked like he had a glazed over look, like he was very intoxicated, and I could smell the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from his breath. So I was just trying to stall, make conversation with him until my cover officer got there. One, because I couldn't watch traffic while I was talking to him, since we were right in the middle of the lanes of travel of I-25 North. And two, I don't want to reach in the car and take his keys with someone else not there just in case he decides to leave, then I would be dragged.
Driving under the influence, or DUIs, is a major arrest charge for police. From 2006 to 2009, DUI violations have decreased in the village by 48%.
DUIs are common in the city because they have bars all throughout the Denver Tech Center, which are mostly in District 2, but we do have some bars in District 1. We get most of our traffic complaints from I-25 north and southbound. So when people leave the bars, they're usually visiting from other cities. So we run laser on I-25 south and I-25 north at different times of the night. And usually between 1:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. we'll find DUIs. And usually our stops over 80 miles per hour are mostly DUIs. So when we encounter that, it's a long process. You know, we have to identify that they have been drinking, whether there's emission or not. We look for bloodshot, watery eyes, odor of an alcoholic beverage on their breath, and a lot of other factors. And then we have to see whether or not they'll volunteer for roadside maneuvers. And if they don't, we have to make our decision based on the driving actions we saw and other actions that we saw in their person and how they're acting. If they do the roadside maneuvers, we have to take everything into account. It's just not the roadside maneuvers, it's actually how they drove, how they're speaking, how they're walking, the look, the smell, all those things are taken into consideration.
Education, proactive enforcement, and collaboration with bar and restaurant owners about liquor distribution and over-serving patrons have contributed to the decrease in DUI offenses in Greenwood Village.
And we happen to serve alcohol, and I have always taken it very responsibly.
Sure. We have an open relationship with many of our bars and liquor establishments. The benefit to that is they feel comfortable calling us to help them out with whatever difficult problem that they're having at the bar. If it's an intoxicated person that's being ornery and disturbing the peace of other people inside the restaurant or the bar, if they can't handle it themselves and the person's not listening, the restaurant will call us and we will assist them with whatever situation that is going on.
And we have a good time of 200 or 300 people.
In order to do their jobs, officers must master the necessary skills and undergo ongoing training for them to function tactically during high-risk situations. Skills and training that demands a high level of expertise.
Well, certainly the Greenwood Village Police Department wants to have a well-rounded officer, and that we want to make sure that their training is up to par, consistent with constitutional standards and with other departments as well across the country. Through training, we want to try and provide our officers with a realistic experience with something that they might encounter on the street.
Over the years, less lethal options have improved, and the Village Police Department now uses new tools and resources to protect citizens.
Safety is paramount to our officers, safety to the community as well, to the people that we serve, and again, the safety to the suspects that we will encounter out on the street. When you use less lethal and when you use lethal force is going to be dependent upon the situation, the environment. For instance, when we're talking about the environment, if I'm attacking you from 5 feet away, or am I a threat to you from 100 feet away? Am I armed with a gun or a knife? I may not be able to go to a less lethal option if I've got a person that's shooting at me or attacking me with a handgun because they're an immediate threat. But conversely, if a person is, let's say, 60 feet away and they're armed with a knife and they won't drop it, and they're threatening to charge or to attack somebody with that, I may be able to go ahead and use a less lethal option to go ahead and take that person into custody and to neutralize that situation without having to go to a lethal option. And a lot of that is because of the distance and the time that we're afforded because of that distance.
Not only is it important for officers to understand the implications of using tasers in different situations, they also learn how to shoot them and where. After all, it's not a matter of if it will happen, but when.
Well, for years people used to just shoot at blocks, paper targets, things that are nondescript. They come to find out that the hit ratio is extremely low. And it's psychological. They found that when you're trying to shoot at, possibly have to shoot at human beings, the hit ratio dropped considerably. By putting a human face on your targets, it made the shooters have to concentrate on their targets more. And by concentrating and through training, their hit ratio increased.
In addition to lethal and less lethal weapons, officers are able to deploy a wide variety of special tools to volatile situations so that police have a greater chance of resolving these situations without a great use of force.
This is our equipment truck for our emergency response team. Each door kind of houses different items. This is our ballistics door. What this houses is, like these are our ballistic plates. They're rifle plates that we actually put into our vest that will stop a rifle round if we get shot with a rifle. As well as we have different types of portable ballistic shields. We have some of the smaller ones as well as bigger ones with lights, and then we have a full-size one. So multiple people can either be protected behind the shields, or depends on which shield you use to stop different threat levels of handguns or rifle rounds. This is kind of our searching cabinet. Inside of it we have different items. One of our items is a little fiber optic scope that we can actually stick under doors or stick through items. Has a little light on the end of it that turns on so we can light up a room, so we can actually look into a room before we risk anybody's safety by actually going into the room. We also have different mirror setups under the same exact premise of sticking a mirror around a corner as opposed to risking one of our guys' safety by having them stick their head around a corner. We have different sizes and convex versus flat, as well as a pole that extends and bends around corners. And last in our thing here is actually a portable pole camera, is what we call it. This is a camera that has night vision on it, and it's used kind of for the same exact premise as the others. We can put it in areas where we don't want to risk somebody's safety by putting them in that area. So we can actually stick the pole camera into a room and look on the monitor to actually be able to look inside a room, look inside of an attic, so we don't have to climb up a ladder and put our heads into an attic. We can actually just push the pole camera up to lift up the lid and see inside the room. This is our breaching door. It houses a bunch of different items that we use to either gain entry into a place or make a hole so we can see into a place. So a lot of the different items we have is we call these break and rake tools. What these tools are designed to do is we actually use it to punch through somebody's window. The hook can grab out blinds or curtains that are in the way, pull it out, so we can therefore either gain access into the room or at least be able to see into the room. So we have different sizes of those for different heights of people and different heights of windows. Inside here is obviously used to be used as an ambulance, so it's kind of set up that way. What we've converted to is it stores our ladders. This is one of our little giant ladders that can actually go up staircases, you know, has leg levelers in case you're on uneven surfaces, in case we need to get to a second story window or a balcony. Basically inside all we really have is just extra supplies. We have extra supplies of our OC, crime scene tape, first aid kits, all of our medical gloves, a command board. In this cabinet we have we call them our 40mm munitions. What they are is a host of different items that we can use. Like this one is a foam baton. It's one of our less lethal munitions, which we use to shoot like a combatant person that obviously won't kill them. It's a rubber thing. It's just like getting hit with a baton. And here's one of our launchers, 40mm launchers. What it's used for is the same thing. It shoots the 40mm like military munitions. With it, we can shoot anything from tear gas, if we're going to shoot tear gas into a place, or OC into a residence to try to force somebody out so we don't have to go in there and get them. We can safely have the person exit from the while we remain outside. What we have here is, in this cabinet, is some of our lighting. It's our portable lighting that we take to the scene. We have a multitude of different size of lights. They can light up a scene. We can use them for like a crime scene to help out light up the crime scene if the crime scene happens during the night, as well as we use them tactically to light up a location. They call it a light blanket. We can light up the scene while we remain in the darkness behind the lights, so we can covertly move around and safely move around without the person inside being able to see where our exact locations or where we're at.
Training for police officers goes beyond the use of artillery and specialized equipment. The detectives and their analytical work play a key role in assisting police officers in apprehending and convicting criminals.
The detectives in the village, what we do is follow up on all felony crimes or misdemeanors where there is a rush to solve the case, such as like a domestic violence where we're required to make an arrest. If patrol can't follow up on that, it will be forwarded to us. Otherwise, we do all follow-up on all felonies, as well as filing the cases with the DA's offices and working with them to file those. The only other piece of that is juvenile cases. If we can't do them through our municipal court, we have to file a full case filing for them, even on misdemeanor crimes, through the district court. So we also do that.
With the passage of a new state law, detectives are now able to match suspects to crimes easier.
Starting in September, Colorado passed a new law that requires police departments to collect DNA samples from any individual arrested for a felony. The previous law was when they were convicted of a felony. So because of that, we're expecting a lot of DNA hits and our cases to, some cold cases to be solved because of that, because our DNA database is going to expand greatly.
The forensic unit works close at hand with the detectives, studying very carefully messy details of crime scenes.
Some of the things that we do is fingerprinting and photography, sketching, collection of evidence, which could include DNA evidence, trace evidence, shoe impressions, tire impressions, things like that can be documented at a scene. We do crime scenes, which can include anything from homicide to a recovered stolen steel. And then we also do the property, which is brought in by the officers or ourselves, and book it into evidence.
The collaborated work of both the detective unit and forensic services has proven successful in cracking many cases and helping put many criminals away for a long time.
Earlier in the year, the metro area was swamped with catalytic converter thefts from all over. A catalytic converter contains precious metals such as platinum and rhodium, and what happens is the thieves steal them so that they can be melted down and the metals can be sold. Greenwood Village actually made the only arrests and successful charges on the case, on all of the cases that occurred in the village, because early on we discovered that this was a crime trend, and so we started having our lab tech respond out on all of these, what happened is they had to cut the catalytic converters off the exhaust system. Well, the suspect had to stabilize the exhaust system, and when he did, he left DNA behind, so our crime scene tech swabbed the exhaust pipe got DNA. Once we located our suspect, we got a buccal swab for his DNA, and we were able to match him to all of our cases in which we obtained DNA from. So to date, Greenwood Village is the only Metro police agency that was able to successfully file charges on the suspect. Over the past summer, we had a string of burglaries in the east end of the city, one of which the suspect broke a bathroom window to get in. And when they broke the window, the suspect left a small amount of blood behind. Our officers, when they responded, noticed this, knew that through their training with DNA and so forth that was a good lead, so they went ahead and requested our crime lab respond. Our crime lab technician did go out, and she was able to collect some of that blood. We submitted that through the Colorado DNA identification system, also known as CODIS, and about 2 weeks ago we got a hit back on that with an identity for a suspect for us. Now, just getting that hit back doesn't mean that we can prosecute that individual. What we have since done is gone out and interviewed that individual and obtained what we call a buccal swab, which is another DNA sample from that person, and now we submitted that to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation to analyze. It's a known sample, so they can compare that to the blood we collected, and if we get a positive match on that, then we will have a prosecutable case.
Policing has always been considered a highly demanding profession in terms of stress and strain, despite the situation. Having to make split-second decisions at work has the potential to have significant impacts on a police officer's life.
You never know when things are going to happen, so you're always on alert. And that kind of plays with your mind emotionally, that I always have to be alert and I can't relax too much. And so it's hard to relax sometimes. So you have to have your head on a swivel, watching people and making sure that people are doing, following the law and not disobeying the law, and they're not creeping up on you. So sometimes emotionally that kind of plays with you a little bit, and it's hard to tone that down after you're not working.
It's not designed to work well with marriages, that's for sure. My wife and I just make it work through flexing our schedules and that kind of a thing. Since I work Wednesday through Saturdays, typically I don't really see my wife very much Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I see her Saturday mornings, all day Sunday is family day, Monday night and Tuesday night. Just because that's the way the schedule turns out. She's working day shift on Monday and Tuesdays, and I'm home with the kids, and those are my days off. So the one common day, we only have one common day off together, is Sunday. So the nice thing about working for Greenwood Village versus many other places is a lot of times we can flex our schedule a little bit to, attend family functions, and I can go see my daughter at her little cheerleading class, and my son at his martial arts class, or go to a special Halloween function like I'm doing tonight. I can flex my hours and leave early for that. So that's the nice thing about working for Greenwood Village, is they're very accommodating for family schedules. I understand that we have a life outside of work.
While police officers are normally assigned responsibility for securing the safety of a specific geographical area or police district in the village, oftentimes their duties are called to attend to higher risk situations.
The reason why the Greenwood Village Police Department gets hired on for off-duty here at the venue is for safety and security. So that way, if there's any kind of criminal act or something like that that occurs, we're there to take action immediately. Hey man, we're out in the public. Once you're inside the venue, you can drink, so can you just go and pour it out? Yeah, I appreciate it, thanks. All right, they're gonna come by and clean this up, so if you want us to leave it right here.
Right here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, that's fine.
Although the police department has not had any major issues at Fiddler's Green Amphitheater, there always remains some challenges for officers with any large event.
We have several alcohol control people that go around and monitor people that are too intoxicated. And if they're too intoxicated, they go up to the various bars and say, hey, he's cut off, no more drinking. Most of these people take cabs out of here, they have sober ride, but the alcohol control people mostly are focused on making sure that underage people are not drinking. If they see an underage person or person that they believe is underage, they're gonna walk up and just do a contact and make sure, identify their age. If they're under the age, they're gonna bring that person to any uniformed police officer, and we're gonna take enforcement action on that and bring them over to our command post, release them on a ticket. If they've had too much to drink, maybe release them to an ambulance, or to mom or dad.
Most of the concerts is I'm one of the road cars. What I do is patrol the parking lots and the outside street areas outside of the venue here. We're about having a high presence to try to deter crime, car break-ins. There's a lot of the problems that we're trying to keep down. Also, people see us around, so hopefully that deters what any kind of bad things they might be up to. The other thing that we do is the road cars do provide transport for people that have warrants or have had too much to drink and need to go to detox. So those are the kind of things that we do during concert. And then last but not least, at the end of the night, there's a lot of people who cannot find their cars. And they come in the daylight, the sun goes down, and everything in the Denver Tech Center looks the same to somebody who's unfamiliar with the area. So I end up picking up a lot of people in a patrol car and taking them back and helping them find their cars.
Way to get to the light rail station from here? Sure, when you're done, just go around. It's just, now that RTD light rail has opened up, we get a lot more people using public transportation, which is what we like. So it's actually a perfect situation because they're not crossing in front of the thousands of cars that are leaving at the end of the night. They just have a nice straight walk to the RTD light rail station. RTD light rail also is aware of all the venues, all the concert venues that are going on, and oftentimes they will increase staffing at our light rail station just because they know there's a higher influx of people coming in during concert nights, so they staff their security accordingly.
With assistance from other police agencies, the police department's strategies for safety has contributed to a safe experience for concert goers overall.
If something does happen, we do step in and make sure that if there's a fight or if there's a medical issue, we're here just to make sure that people have a good time.
Greenwood Village has been successful in keeping crime down in the village over the past 5 years. In 2009 compared to 2008, single-family residential property and person crimes decreased by 29% and 39%. There was also a decrease in multifamily residential person and commercial property crimes by 12% and 6%. These crime reductions are a result of the department's efforts to join forces with the community for problem-solving and prevention strategies.
We are a community policing organization, which means that we strive to develop partnerships with multiple members within our community to help resolve crime and social disorder issues. Fortunately, in the city of Greenwood Village, we don't have significant social disorder issues, so we're able to focus on those crime trends. That begins by attending a variety of meetings, from homeowner associations to business community meetings, developing partnerships with our hotel communities, and working together. Technically, the citizens and the people that work, live, and play in this city are the eyes and ears. When they provide us additional information on suspicious people or things that just look out of the ordinary, it affords the police department a much more timely response to try to address a potential criminal action from occurring. So they really are a big valued component of our organization, and it is something that we strive and work diligently at, ensuring that we work together very closely.
When not responding to a call for service, Officer Costarella, like the many officers at the police department, dedicates his time to patrolling the neighborhoods, since they are always prime targets for criminals.
Some of the things that we look for when we're patrolling through the neighborhood is suspicious vehicles. If I was a car driving through a neighborhood, driving this slowly and looking at all the houses, now I could be a lost person trying to find an address, trying to deliver something, or I could be somebody trying to scope out to see if there's someone not home at a house. Like if I came by this house, I saw the garage door open and there's no cars in that garage, it's most likely that the person left their garage door open. That'd be an easy target.
Increased police visibility in neighborhoods is a deterrent for criminals unless they may stumble upon a crime of opportunity even when they are not looking.
As you can see, it's not an uncommon thing someone accidentally leaves their keys to the car in the trunk or in the door handle or something like that. And upon further inspection, when you come up, you see there's a laptop computer right on the front seat of the car. So a thief can come by and steal the car, steal the laptop. Also has access to their garage door opener, so if they steal the car, they can come back later and open the garage door to the house. We could essentially walk in, and we have some pretty expensive bikes. I bet that Samson bike goes several $1,000s, and the homeowner has no idea I'm standing in their garage right now. How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Hey, I'm Officer Costarella with the Greenwood Village Police Department.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? While driving through your neighborhood, I saw you accidentally left the keys in your trunk to your Mercedes.
Maybe that again.
Yeah, let me show you here real quick. So I assume that's your keys, right?
Yeah, it is. I've done that more than once before.
Yeah. You know, obviously someone could come by, take your keys, take your nice Mercedes. Also, I noticed in your car here, you have your laptop out in plain sight right here.
Using that for business.
I know that, and it's an inconvenience to bring it in and out often,
Right.
but a thief can easily break in through a window, use your key and that kind of stuff, steal your laptop, and all your identity, all your bank accounts, all your credit card information, and your identity gets stolen along with your laptop computer. So recommend that. I know it's a hassle, but it's worth bringing the laptop in every night to avoid any kind of risk of losing your identity on that.
Trying to replace that information.
And I don't know if you knew, how long did you know that I was standing in your garage? Did you know I was standing in your garage?
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I mean, I just went inside for just a
Sure,
bit.
and you have your nice bikes right here. You have your, I think it was a snow blower and that kind of stuff. Someone can come by with a pickup truck and steal all this stuff, and you wouldn't even know it. You're in the back, you're in the basement, and in less than a minute, they've stolen all your stuff, thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and they're gone, and you're none the wiser. So just this is just a written reminder to, hey, keep your garage door closed, and just to keep your keys inside your house rather than in the trunk of your car, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No problem at all.
Like I said, it's just out here just for inside for a
Yeah.
second, but I guess it wouldn't take that long.
No, it doesn't take very long. Like I said, I was standing in your garage for just a few seconds, and I could have easily taken your bike.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
You have a good day, sir.
appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate the reminder.
Sure thing. Okay, sounds good. Have a good day, sir.
As a result of the police department's efforts to increase awareness of crime prevention through education with citizens, residential burglaries and auto thefts have decreased by 26% in 2009. But even with these reductions, the police remain diligent and encourage citizens to remain aware of their surroundings at all times. One of the reasons people live, work, and visit Greenwood Village is because of their ongoing enjoyment and sense of security of being in their homes and out in their neighborhoods. This sense of comfort and well-being for people also extends to learning in schools, traveling on village roadways, and greeting customers at their place of business. It's a sense of safety and security that will not be compromised, no matter the cost.
The Greenwood Village Police Department takes a focus of deterring crime is just as important as apprehending a criminal that just committed a crime. A lot of times that's the main focus as to how we develop our relationships with the restaurants and community, the neighborhoods, all the business people that come to and from, that work here, that live here. That's how we achieve that deterrence of crime, is by these relationships. By having the community involved and helping us out, there's a lot more eyes out there to help prevent and deter crime, and us also apprehend the criminal if they do commit a crime.
There's going to be an injury accident at Bellevue on I-25, westbound Bellevue under the highway at I-25. We have a report of a rollover.